darling friends, welcome back to my channel. It is so good to see you. It's so good to have you all here. I'm looking forward to spending some time together today. I think this is going to be a really fun episode. Today we are going to be taking a look at my top 10 favorite projects that we have worked on over the past several months. I had so much fun putting this together and just looking back at all the things that we have done and made. And man, we are really busy around here. We do a lot of things. So we're going to do a top 10 from 10 to 1. And I'm just going to share a little bit with y'all the inspiration behind how each of these projects was born. So we'll just be going through a few little clips, and there won't be like a full tutorial on any of these. However, I will have the full tutorial for my top 10 faves all put together for y'all in a playlist, and I'll have that playlist linked down below in the description box. So without further ado, let's just go jump right into today's episode. Fall is one of my favorite times of year, and for me, it signifies the beginning of the holidays. It also means crisp mornings with pumpkin spice lattes. All the fall colors, all the cozy feelings just inspire me so much to get creative. I love crafting this time of year. I shift into high gear and my creativity seems to really come alive. This project was one of my favorites from last year, and y'all seem to really like this one as well, so it seemed fitting that it made its way into my top 10 list. These cuties were inspired by my love of all things pumpkin and the coziness of a warm candle's glow. I love how they turned out, so much so that I already have plans to make a few different variations for this year's fall season. I'm sure that you probably already have all the supplies in your arsenal to recreate these. All you really need are some jars, paint, finials, a few embellishments, and you're ready to create. It would also be fun to use some thrifted jars or vases of all shapes and sizes to create these darling jack-o'-lanterns. I love how easy this project was, and it just required minimal supplies that you probably already have on hand, or just upcycled things that you could use. I think that, the sky's the limit. You could get very creative with these. And I also think these cuties would just make darling gifts for all your sweet, special people. These little delights will easily fit right into your fall decor. I think they would be so cute resting on the vanity top in your bathroom or on a tiered tray or a styled shelf. No matter where or how you style them, they will bring lots of charm and whimsy to any vignette. So many artisanal interests, but among my favorites is definitely sewing. For me, sewing is very rewarding. I love seeing swatches of fabric come to life in my projects. It always amazes me how you basically start with nothing, and a few cuts and stitches later, you have an amazing creation. I love that giddy feeling you get when you finish a project and realize that your own two hands created something so special. I think it's easy to just go out and buy something, but when you create it for yourself, it definitely leaves you with a feeling of complete satisfaction and pride. This project was one of those for me. After designing it, I was hesitant to see it through because on paper it looked kind of funny. But after getting this giant sweet bunny put together, I was so glad I followed through. He turned out so cute. I especially loved how the carrots turned out. So don't be surprised if somewhere in the future you see another variation, spoiler alert, a much larger variation of these super cute little carrots. All in all, I really love how this project turned out. This little guy, he ended up becoming somewhat of a mascot in our home, and I won't say who, but Mr. Michael even named him Harvey. We definitely enjoyed spending our spring season with him. He brought lots of fun and whimsy into our decor and became a fun conversation piece that took us through the season with lots of laughs and joy. This project ranks right up there in my top 10 faves for sure. I loved creating these tiered trays with Michael. Working in the shop together is one of our favorite activities. Not only do we work well together, but we have so much fun while we work. We banter a lot back and forth and laugh so much. I really am blessed to have a partner that loves creating as much as Michael and I do. Michael inspires me so much, and more often than not, he is actually the true hero behind the scenes. I'm not really very good at woodworking, and oftentimes I get very impatient with the entire process. Whereas for Michael, it comes a lot more naturally, and he is so incredibly patient and loves the entire process. He is always such a good sport whenever I come to him with an idea.
For this particular project, we were hosting a big event, and I really needed some tiered trays for all the hors d'oeuvres and snacks because I don't have a lot of extra countertop space. So my thought was tiered trays because what I lacked in horizontal space on the countertops, the tiered trays would make up for in vertical space. And because I was a little short on time, I went shopping and thought I'll just take a shortcut here and go look for some. But I was looking for something very specific, and needless to say, I just could not find what I needed. And so I came home, and because Michael and I do love a good DIY challenge, we knew that we could create exactly what I was looking for. So we put our heads together and came up with an amazing plan. We had a blast creating this project. The trays turned out exactly how I had envisioned and worked splendidly for all our snacks and hors d'oeuvres. I would call this DIY project a huge success and one that just keeps on giving. We have used these trays so many times when I needed extra space on the counters for various events. I love how functional and versatile they are. They would even be super cute styled with seasonal tinies. I love a good thrift flip and was so excited when I found this vase. I loved the shape and style, and I knew I could turn this from drab and boring to bold and dynamic. All it took was a little paint and a little effort. When working on a project like this, I try to first envision what it could become, which can sometimes be the most difficult part. But then I move on to choosing the color palette, which is a little easier of a task. And then once those two steps are done, I can move on to the execution, which is my absolute favorite part. Oftentimes you can really change a piece with just a layer of paint and it looks great and fantastic. However, with this one, I definitely wanted it to go from that smooth ceramic look to more of a textured pottery piece. So to achieve this, I worked in lots of layers, and I also added baking soda to my paint because the baking soda adds lots and lots of texture to your piece. I really love how this piece turned out, and I think I will easily be able to transition this from my summer decor to fall decor by simply just changing the florals. I have enjoyed it so much this year in my summer decor, but I'm not quite ready to put it away, so I definitely think I'm going to utilize it in this year's fall decor. Designing winter decor pieces can sometimes be challenging or even a little depressing because it means the holidays have come and gone, and all we have left to look forward to is long, cold winter days. So, this piece made my top 10 faves because it was inspired by one of my favorite winter activities, skiing. I also wanted to capture the essence of winter in my post-Christmas decor, so to do this, I settled on a cozy cabin theme, the kind of cabin that you would stay in at a snowy mountain resort. I love being surrounded by mountains and snowy evergreens, so I chose pieces that were reminiscent of winter days on the slopes. And I have always had a special appreciation for old wooden skis, but have never actually been lucky enough to find a set that was within my budget. So I decided for this last winter season that we would just create my own version of skis, and that's how this project was born. We used Michael's mad skills, some weathered pallet wood for the skis, and dowels for the poles, and with a few extra touches, we created a darling little set of skis with a rustic cabin feel. I enjoyed seeing them displayed in my winter decor, and every time I looked at them, it helped take some of the dreary out of the long winter season. So I look very forward to pulling them out again in the coming months. Like no matter the season, my decor is just not complete without candles of some sort. I love candles all year round, but there is definitely something so special about candles in the winter. They make everything just feel so much more cozy and bring a warm, inviting ambiance to any space. Of all the candle risers or stands that we have made over the years, these are by far my absolute favorite. They looked so stunning on the mantle, and one would never have known that they were simply DIY projects constructed out of 4x4 posts. I was often asked where I purchased them, and it always made me feel so proud to say that Michael and I had made them. And even though these were originally designed as part of last year's winter cabin theme, this year I'm thinking I will incorporate them into my fall decor by just adding a little bit of jute twine and wrapping around the posts. I think we can easily adapt them to any of our fall vignettes. This piece is one of my recent favorites. I still like using cutting boards in my decor, and this design elevates the ordinary cutting board into an extraordinary designer piece. These could easily be modified to use with any season simply by changing the flora and the applique design. I think it would look lovely to recreate this one for fall using fall leaves and adding an acorn cutout, like a wooden acorn cutout, to the front piece rather than the print. This is definitely one of those projects that you could easily get so creative with. I love project ideas that inspire me to create different variations and build off the original concept. So I just think you could take this one and do so much more with it, or you could simplify it even, and it would also make a really cute gift for the holiday seasons. This project was one that just brought me so much joy. To me, it's one of those timeless designs that gives way to simplistic elegance, and it's such a neutral piece and would blend well with any decor style. I love challenging myself to learn new things, and in this project we used some really fun techniques that I had never tried before. I loved making the burlap flowers and was so impressed with how easy they were to make and how cute they turned out. This pocket board could easily be modified for all the seasons. If you used like some neutral fabric and greenery, all you'd really have to do is change the flowers. I think it would be so darling to use some plaid burlap for the holidays to make the flowers. Wouldn't that just be so cute? I do think I'm going to make another one of these for the holidays using some pine boughs and Christmas plaid fabric. I'm so excited. I can hardly wait to make another one. This project really was one that brought me a lot of joy. painting is another one of my favorite crafts. I love that almost anything goes with florals. By simply following a few rules of thumb, you can be as haphazard or extremely meticulous as you want and still end up with something wonderful. This particular wreath I made in a collab with my sweet friend Jen over at Mother Time. We had challenged each other to come up with lemon-themed projects that could be used in spring or summer decor. And I love that with this one we blended whimsy and charm with just a few simple elements. I feel like the berries added a lot of charm and elegance to this wreath, while the lemons added that fun, small touch of whimsy. All in all, I think this piece came together with a stunning finish. It is for sure my favorite wreath of the year. And finally, we come to my number one favorite project of the year. Creating this outdoor living space brought me so much joy and so many happy moments during the process, and not to mention the fact that we have enjoyed it so much since it has been finished. Before we started this project, I had hoped that this year would be the year we'd be able to build a new deck. However, after calculating and crunching numbers, the expense landed way out of our budget. So to stay on budget, we got creative and worked with what we had. We power washed, sanded, and sealed, reinforced the existing structure with an additional beam, added privacy walls to the two sides of the deck, found a fantastic deal on patio furniture, and changed the light fixtures, which made so much difference. Michael did spend a ton of hours on his knees, took hundreds of measurements, made 1,000 cuts, and a million screws later, we finally had an amazing new deck space. From the deck, we moved into our backyard and created a designated fire pit area. One of our favorite summer activities is grilling and conversing around a backyard fire. However, we didn't really have a designated spot for our fire pit, so we set out to create one. We first mapped out where we wanted the fire pit to be placed in the yard, and then the real work began. After we dug up what felt like 10 tons of grass, laid several yards of landscaping felt, hauled 40 tons of gravel, one wheelbarrow at a time, refurbished some old teak chairs, and placed a little path, we successfully created a beautiful fire pit area. We have absolutely loved our new outdoor spaces so much. We've spent hours in our backyard this season and have created a lot of wonderful memories. I do give all the credit to Michael. Without all of his hard work and amazing skills, none of this would have been possible. So I just want to give a special thank you and shout out to Michael. You are the absolute best.
I think I really enjoyed that. I hope y'all did as well. I think for me it was fun to just look back at all of the projects and remember this story behind each and every one of them. I think it's fun when you have a piece that you've created and you can put a story with it. So that's what we did today. It was fun for me, and I really hope that it was for y'all as well and that you were somehow inspired by today's episode. Thank you all so much for being here today. It just means so much to me that y'all take time out of your day to come and hang with me. I just love you guys all so much and appreciate you being here and supporting me on my channel. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Until then, y'all take care and I will see you soon. Bye.